Can we all just agree that one of the most annoying things ever is just being sick? Like any type of, like a cold, anything, dude. It's the most annoying, most frustrating thing ever because you obviously don't feel like yourself. You wake up feeling groggy and so annoyed, and I'm just now getting over being sick. Luckily, it wasn't anything too bad. It was only like a little common cold. But yeah, this is going to be week number 5 of the BBL. So yeah, boss of YouTube, how's it going, guys? Do y'all typically get sick? I feel like I get sick like once every few months, and I'm really upset about it. I know I mentioned this before too in previous videos, but yeah. So for week 5, we are taking on my good friend Kelly Under the Radar. Channel link and stuff will be down below. Definitely go ahead and check him out. So fair warning right now, because me and Kelly are playing each other in playoffs, I'm not going to be doing a team builder for this, and I'm not going to be explaining the entirety of all my sets. So yeah, if you guys want to see his side, check him out. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button down below. Also, another thing about this match is that because I don't want this to go up entirely too late, I'm not going to be doing the layout, but I will have it back for the remainder of the season. It's just that right now it's almost like 5 p.m. or I think it is 5 p.m. I don't even know. I'll look. Yeah, it is 5 p.m. So I don't want this to go up like even later than it already is, especially because I have to do another match later. So yeah, I ended up leading off with Reggie still here. I was really surprised that he didn't bring his Mawile or his Ditto, but I was actually really happy to not see them. Something I was really surprised to see was the fact that he brought Noivern, but Noivern really shouldn't be that big of an issue, honestly. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get on my rocks here turn 1, thinking that he would get up his own rocks. Now for some reason there's gonna be a little bit of lag potentially in this video. I don't know why this decided to act up, but I couldn't re-record it again because I'm already on the strict short amount of time as it is. So I get on my rocks as he goes for the earthquake. Does a decent little chunk of damage to me, as I expect him to either get up his own rocks or go for the earthquake. Once again, I can't bring in my Chatot, and because he doesn't bring the Mawile, Chatot actually does have a pretty good chance to just 2 KO the entirety of his team, and that's actually really amazing. So I'm gonna go straight for the boom burst here. I thought about maybe going for the U-turn, but I didn't really care that much to predict him to switch out here, as I do end up doing a really good amount of damage to the Muck. Unfortunately, it turns out that he is the 50% berry, so expecting him to maybe try to go for a recycle here, I'm gonna try and switch out, but Kelly does make a good play here, goes for the pursuit, and does do a huge chunk of damage to my Chatot, but I'm able to live and I can switch into Stealth Rock, so that's going to be amazing on my end because I still have a chance to win with my Chatot later in the battle. As I bring in my Garchomp here, I figured he's going to bring in Gliscor, so what I'm going to actually do is go for the Hidden Power Ice, expecting to catch that on the switch in, but he actually switches into his Noivern, and honestly I thought that this Hidden Power Ice was just going to straight drop Noivern, but he ends up tanking the hit. I guess the nice thing is that I put him in Stealth Rock's range, but I have to switch out here because I don't want to take potential obvious dragon type move, as Kelly makes a good prediction, expects me to switch out knowing that Garchomp is very valuable to me in this game, and he's going to decide to go for the Vaporeon Z flamethrower here, although I guess it could have been Heat Wave, but flamethrower makes so much more sense, I suppose. I don't know, I really didn't expect Noivern coming into this game. This is what I meant. I don't know why it's lagging like this. Typically, if you guys have seen any of my other previous post-con battles, they don't really lag at all. I don't know if maybe it's something with my PC, or maybe I just have to mess with the settings again on my Citra, but it's not that big of an issue. Hopefully I'll have it fixed for next week for you guys. So yeah, I end up taking the hit, which is really nice, and I thought about switching out of here, but realistically there's no need for me to do that. Plus, knowing my luck, he's gonna end up burning me with the flamethrower potentially, or there was a chance that maybe he went for the U-turn here in case I did want to switch out, as this does now allow me to bring in my Electrode. I don't think he's gonna save this Noivern, but in case he does want to sack it off here, it's in my best interest to just go straight for the Hidden Power Ice. Because he doesn't really have too much of a safe switch into this outside of this Vikavolt, which is already going to be taking 25% from the Stealth Rock, so I'm perfectly happy with that, honestly, getting off any type of damage on this Vikavolt, which could have been a little bit annoying depending on the set. As it turns out that he is very bulky, I'm going to decide to go for the Toxic, and there is a good chance that I do have the soundproof on this set, so I don't expect him to maybe want to go straight for a Bug Buzz, as he actually opts to go for the Roost, which is actually not that bad. I'm perfectly fine with that because it's going to be at much less HP the next time it comes in, because now it takes the little bit of chip from the Toxic, and then the next time it comes in, it's going to take more chip from the Toxic, and it's going to take the Stealth Rocks, plus I'm able to get off a decent chunk with the Hidden Power Ice as it goes for the Volt Switch and gets a crit, and me getting unlucky is kind of a theme in this battle here, as you guys will come to see. So he Volt Switches into his Mewtwo X, which honestly I am perfectly fine with this. I want this to come in on my Electro, because what now I can go for is the Thunder Wave, and I paused in the middle of that because I didn't know, because I knew it was going to come out as a wrong sentence, but I still went with it. It is what it is, whatever. So I'm going to go for the Thunder Wave here as I'm able to land it. This is really nice because if he does get fully paralyzed here, I can get off a bit more damage the following turn before he knocks me out, but he does break through, allowing him to be able to knock me out with the Side Strike, which is still an amazing animation, by the way. That animation is pretty awesome, honestly. So he does finish me off here as I'm going to take this chance to go ahead and bring in my Azumarill, because depending on his speed investment, I might be able to outspeed him after the Thunder Wave. So this allows me to just go straight for a Play Rough and either knock that out or force him to sack something else off, as down goes the Azumarill. Again, because he doesn't have Mawile, he actually doesn't have a good switch in to my Azumarill, which is amazing, as in comes the Vaporeon. So long as this Vaporeon does not burn me with the Scald, I should be able to potentially 1v1 him, but it turns out he's actually very fast Vaporeon, and then of course he gets the first turn Scald Burn, which just effectively makes my Azumarill basically useless to me, and that in itself actually really sucks, because Azumarill would have been able to put in a lot of work in this battle. So at this point I don't really think I'm gonna win. Honestly, like there's nothing I can do. I'm gonna try and hopefully weaken this Vaporeon, put it into range of where I can maybe revenge kill it with something else on my team, but because he got lucky with the very first Skull Burn, unless I get a crit here, I'm not going to be able to knock him out. And of course we don't get the crit, as he does gain the wish back here. So this is basically just me trying to do some type of damage to Vaporeon. Like there's not really much else to say. If he hadn't burned me, that would have been really good, because of the fact that Play Rough already, as you can see, is doing about 25%. So I would have potentially been able to 2 KO him if it really came down to it. But yeah, he's gonna Wish Protect here because he does want to keep Vaporeon at as much HP as possible. And then the following turn, the next Scald should either knock me out, or if it doesn't knock me out, that's good for me, because then I can try to get off some damage on the Vaporeon, maybe get a crit, but the burn will end up finishing me off either way, which is actually pretty good for me that I was able to live here, because I do get off some damage and unfortunately no crit. So he ends up knocking me out here, as I've lost my only real answers to this Vaporeon. So I'm going to try and bring in my Mewtwo Y, which is a very weird, convoluted set, honestly. Like, I'm going to be more serious in playoffs. Well, as serious as I want to take BBL, honestly, because I don't really want to try hard in the BBL, because I'm already worried about WBE. And I mentioned before that I'm not taking BBL entirely too serious, but playoffs, I'll be a little more serious, I suppose. But I go for the Will-O-Wisp thinking that he would want to save this, because realistically, he still has use for this, because it can still wall my Garchomp, which Garchomp at this point is actually looking like a giant threat to his team, because if I get rid of this Vaporeon, or if I weaken it enough, my Garchomp can, in theory, basically just win me the game, honestly. So even though I think the score right now is like 3-5, if I can get rid of this Vaporeon, try to bring a Garchomp in a good position, I can honestly just win with it, because I was able to paralyze the Mewtwo, and I have the Hidden Power Ice for the Gliscor, which if he doesn't have Roost, then that's going to be really good for me. So I get off some damage with the Side Strike. Unfortunately, I don't quite knock him out, as he's able to get off a bit more damage with the Scald, and Shadow Ball at least will be able to pick him off here. But at this point, I'm in range of where I'm basically death fodder to his Alolan Muck, in case maybe he doesn't have the Shadow Sneak. I can go for the Will-O-Wisp, but then at that point he could potentially just go for the Recycle, expecting me to Will-O-Wisp. So either way, I'm just going to leave in my Mewtwo here, because I'm too low to the point where I live Stealth Rocks, I'm pretty sure, so I'm forced to basically sack it off. But this is good, because now that Vaporeon is gone, I can just bring in Garchomp here. I can Earthquake the Muck, I have Fire Blast for the Vikavolt, I can Z move and hopefully knock out the Mewtwo X, and then I have Hidden Power Ice for the Gliscor. So expecting him to switch out, I'm actually going to go for the Fire Blast here because I've already showed him that I had Hidden Power Ice earlier. Now I'm expecting him to bring in the Vikavolt, thinking that I would go for the Hidden Power Ice, although I guess realistically it didn't really matter if I did HP Ice because the Vikavolt did come in below 50%, so either way I would have been able to 2 KO him. But either way, down goes Vikavolt, in comes the Mewtwo X. I should be able to hopefully knock him out here with my Z move. Worst case scenario, I think, is that he is max HP and it comes down to a damage roll, if I'm not mistaken. Although I am not max attack on this Garchomp, I should be able to hopefully knock him out here. And if I do knock him out, I Earthquake the Muck and I HP Ice the Gliscor, and I am able to win the battle, which would be amazing since we lost last week here. As I go for my Z move, down goes the HP as he lives, and then he doesn't even get fully paralyzed, which is a little bit frustrating, just because I got so unlucky early on in the game and he couldn't get paralyzed this one turn here. But it is what it is, man. Pokemon is Pokemon. So I'm gonna bring in my Chatot and I'm gonna be able to knock him out with the Boom Burst. His last mon is the Alolan Muck. His last mons are the Alolan Muck and the Gliscor. I can't OHKO either of them, unfortunately. So I don't even think a crit at this point would be able to finish off Muck. Like, yeah, he doesn't have his 50% berry, which is really good, but I don't think a crit here would have been able to finish him off anyway. So he's going to be able to live and in return knock us out with the Poison Jab for the unfortunate 2-0 loss in our favor. So yeah, that does kind of suck. A bit of just bad luck there. Really cost us the game here, but it is what it is. Hopefully if we do make it to the playoffs and play Kelly, we can bring better prep and try a little bit more in that game. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy, hit that thumbs up button down below. Let me know if you get sick a lot or not, because if you do, that sucks and I feel your pain. If you don't, tell me your secret, please. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow, most likely actually, as tomorrow, with something very interesting. So yeah, later, everybody.
Because my brain and heart are both tied in the knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears of hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, hoping.